Good afternoon, Rudrani. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm good.
So let me just quickly introduce to our panelists. We have Purva ma'am and Krishna sir with us. Yeah, Purva ma'am is the academic dean of Pahel Design, and Krishna sir is the regional head of Bangalore Centers and a NIFT alumni. All the
Yeah,
best, Rudrani. Over to you, Krishna sir.
thank you, ma'am.
Hi, so this PI, me, Krishna, along with academic head Purva ma'am, will conduct today. Okay, quickly start your introduction.
So, good afternoon, sir. So, my name is Rudrani Dutta. I'm 22 years old and I've been born and brought up in the city of Joy, Kolkata. So, I was born in a nuclear family and I've always been close to my parents. So, since childhood only, I was very attracted towards clothes owing to my mother's interest in fashion, and she used to design clothes for us. But coming from a middle class Bengali family, it's always expected out of us to be a doctor or an engineer or a professor. So that's how I ended up as an economics graduate. I selected economics for my undergraduation because I enjoyed that subject in school. So while I was in college, my mother decided to set up a boutique for herself. So that's when I decided that I want to help her. And during that time only, I came across this course, fashion management. And so I decided that after my college, I started to look for an internship and I worked with Calcutta based fashion designers. They are called Deva Neil. And then I started working with them for marketing. And when there was the pandemic, I worked as the social media marketing head for an e-commerce brand called UTID. They were also Calcutta based. So after working for around a year, I realized that I really want to make my career in this industry. And for that, I needed the professional education to excel because there's already so much competition and creative minds. So that's when I decided to come for this master's, and here I am giving the interview.
Wonderful, perfect. You have a very good flow and the region. Well, over to you, ma'am, for a couple of questions.
Hi, Rudrani.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How was your day today?
My day was very good, ma'am, but it's just lockdown at home. So it's the usual.
Okay. So, what is your view? Should India goes for the complete lockdown now? Looking
Ma'am,
at
I feel that India should not go for a complete lockdown. There should be some restrictions, which is good that the bars and the salons and spas and all these public places, which are not among the essential places, they are closed. But I feel that in other way there should be some restrictions, but also we should realize as human beings that after going through such a big lockdown, that we need to take some precautions, as our prime minister in his speech had also told earlier. He gave a few days back that as us, like as human beings, we need to realize and take some steps so that everyone does not go into lockdown, because everyone cannot survive the lockdown. Maybe some privileged people, they have the resources to survive in the lockdown, but some people do not. So I'm not really in favor of complete lockdown.
okay. So, tell me something about your textile industry in your city.
So, ma'am, the textile industry in our city is basically jute is a very famous fabric over here, and also the different kinds of silk like tussar silk and mulberry silk. So, as I was telling sir as well, my mother has a boutique, so she deals in tussar silk, so which is a very famous silk over here. So we get it from directly from the men who deal in it. So they belong in Malda district in West Bengal. So that's how we get it. And the craft over here, there is this kantha stitch work, which is also very famous over here, which takes time to stitch all the steps. And so I would say it is a lot of text, like a lot of artwork, which is very famous in our cities, which
Hmm.
could be.
Okay. Okay. So, now next question they have, because you have worked in marketing and in this. So, I would like to know that have social networking site influenced the buying behavior of customers?
Yes, ma'am. I would say in the lockdown, especially the social media sites have really influenced the buying behavior, because I have worked during a pandemic and our main focus was to engage more and more consumers through our IGTVs, through our story. We used to reach out to influencers. They are social media influencers. not even TV celebrities, and we used to reach out to them and we used to send them products so that they could make some videos, and it had really helped to gain our engagement on the social media sites, which had in turn resulted in sale for us. So I think the social media engagement is increasing with time.
Okay. So what does a hand textile company should do to keep their sales up with latest technology?
Mama, sorry, a hand textiles company. Ma'am, I feel that especially in these days, it is very important for all the textiles company also to set up a special marketing team who will look into the what kind of clients they have, what are the requirements of the customers, what do they want, and accordingly set up a proper marketing which the whole brand needs to follow. There should be a proper motto or logo, you can say, or a slogan which will help the brand and it will connect them to the consumers, so that there's a proper marketing team. And they should also venture properly into the social media sites and use the different platforms to get engagement of the youth these days. So that way they can create a for themselves and survive.
Okay, so do you think these local artisans and all, because of this online marketing and all, because of their sales is somewhere getting affected?
Yes, ma'am. So the local artisans, their sales are getting affected. And also, I would say these days there are some boutiques who are coming up who are buying products from these artisans. So in a way, it's also affecting them because they are not getting, I feel, the complete value for their products. And the
So
boutiques
what
are.
solution will you provide them? What should they do?
So, ma'am, the government, the textile ministry, they have also set up an initiative where they ask the textile or the craftsmen to give their products and they sell it online. So, I feel that is a little more of government policies which where they try to give more confidence to these local artisans and to sell their products to them, or to sell them in the, now that the mostly all the markets are closing down, otherwise they could sell it in the local markets, but they could try to approach some people or some NGOs or some boutiques who can actually help them. So I think that is the only way through which they can survive these days.
Okay. Last from my side will be like, do you think this pandemic has affected the textile industry, textile and apparel industry of India?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
support your answer with some, factual facts.
So it has actually affected the textile industry because we know that the workers who actually produce the garments of Zara, they belong to small place, like they belong to places like Bangladesh, and they were basically migrant workers, and they had no resources. They were the ones who basically faced all the problems, and they had to go back to their villages. Some even we have read some really horrifying stories where they have died on their way because they did not get food, and some they are still going through the same stress again, which because of this pandemic which has happened in Delhi. Also now they are trying to go back to their villages because they are not sure if the pandemic is going to extend. So I feel that is how the textile industry has been affected. And also there were a lot of like there were companies like Zara who had already asked the people to make a lot of garments for them and had given orders, and later they were not able to take those orders and they had to reject those items because of this whole situation going through, and they also couldn't sell their products. So I feel there has been a lot of hamper in the whole process of buying and selling in the industry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's it from my side. Over to you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, well, Rudrani,
Good
such
afternoon,
a
sir.
nice name. Could you please explain the meaning of your name? I have heard
Yes.
this so many times.
So, sir, it's a very Bengali name. It is basically another name of goddess Durga. It is basically the time when she was actually getting angry and going into the process of killing. So that is why it's called Rudra, which means anger. And so, yes, that's how the name.
Well, thank you. Well, who is the father of economy?
So,
Economic.
Alfred Marshall.
Okay. So, what is the meaning of boutique? What kind of customer fall in boutique category? I mean, who comes
So,
actually boutique?
Boutique, I would say it's basically a place where the designer, she makes the garments in very less quantity, mostly 1 or 2 pieces, to sell it to some very few clients who it's a very small scale business. Like, I would say it has just started, and they would sell to, they have a separate, they have a client base which is a very which is always like there's some regular customers, and nowadays through social media they also attract more customers, but they usually have a regular client base who would take orders from them or make certain garments from them, and that's how it usually functions. So there's not a huge stock of garments through which they can sell every day. It is usually a very limited stock, and otherwise also it is sold like in pieces they sell, or just the fabric, and then they can make it from some other tailor outside.
All right, all right. So that is all about the boutique.
Yes, so
right?
that is.
Mhm. So how do you see the economics of Bengal as a state, where it is and why?
So today's Bengal, I would say, is facing a very bad situation regarding the economics, because the youth of Bengal, if we see today, is all they want is to leave the city because there is no job opportunities here, or the job market is very stagnant. Even if the education sector, there are so many types of courses which are available to students these days. Like fashion management itself is a very different course which is available to us, which was not available during my parents' time, I would say. So people who are studying, but the job market is still very stagnant. There are not much opportunities in the job market. So if there is no growth in Bengal right now, I would say, and I would say the youth of Bengal, they really need to work to stay in Bengal and to help their own, like their family businesses or their own work, or try to do something over here to help it move forward, like the other cities like Delhi or Bombay or Bangalore. I haven't been personally to Bombay or Bangalore, but I've been to Delhi, and I have seen how fast forward it is and all the facilities which is available there, which is not available here at the moment.
Well, compared to, you don't have experience of Bangalore, so I will come for Bombay only. So Bombay is known for economic capital of India, right?
Yes.
So what all fine things you see which is different than Kolkata? So 100 years before, Kolkata was the hub of everything. That was
Yes.
the capital of India. I mean, it's 104 years till 1917, I think.
Yes.
So, and now you see, in after this 100 years of the journey approx, it has changed completely. So what all 5 things is happen in between? Like, 5 चीजें ऐसी क्या हुई थी? क्या लग रहा है आपको?
I would say I'm not a person who is too much into politics, but I would say
No. Wait, Rudrani. In terms of economics growth, nothing
yes,
about
I would
blaming
say
someone politics. Stick
yes.
with
So, but
economics. That was your subject. I want to know economics
yes,
background.
sir.
Nothing
So
more.
personally I feel that a city's political condition will also affect its
Yeah, you
economic
can talk
condition.
in that way. Yeah.
So it will affect its economic condition. So whoever, so it will, so there are different rallies which do affect the economic condition. Because of the rallies which happen in College Street or areas like that, the shops close down, so it will affect the economics of the country. And if we take universities like Presidency or any other college these days, I would not take the name, but there is more politics which is affecting the youth of the city, which is in turn will affect the
Mindset you are talking about, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Then second region.
So second reason, I would say that most of the youth, they are already leaving the city, and there is no one much left behind to some new ideas. There is no one who would give us new ideas or anything. If you see, everyone has left the city of Kolkata and they have gone somewhere outside to study. And Kolkata is usually called the home, because people come back over here because during this pandemic they have come back home. So it is like that. So I feel we need more people who will stay over here and work in this city.
All right. All right. So what is the geographical region? Anything?
So geographical reason, I don't think I have anything in mind to say right now which has really affected our economy at the moment.
All right. So there's no geographical region you find.
Yes, sir.
Uh, all right. Well, so what all three things is required to again get the better GDP and better growth, if you will see in the Kolkata and overall Bengal, because
Yes, sir.
Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, beat all this state, if I will see, so economical growth in a bottom line,
Yes,
almost
sir. Yes,
wise
sir.
also, overall growth also. So how do you see? Because 100 years back, all these three states was the one state also, almost
Yes.
facing a similar problem. There are many in the list in terms of economical. So what you see as a youth, as a graduate economics honors, so what all three factor is really important to get a better GDP and growth in upcoming year? Like apart from that, youth mindset and education and all those.
I feel that we need to bring up our textile industries or our fabric industries, the artisans, the local artisans. We need to do something. We need to bring that art up, and we need to increase the way it is marketed and bring it up to the world and bring it out to the world in some way and in a better way, so that there is a market for it. And also, I feel that the number of industries, that we need more industries to invest in our city for it to grow, the GDP to grow. And there, because there are many districts, there are many area over here which is underutilized, so we have places for industries to come up and invest in this city, and that's how I think this will help us to increase the GDP.
All right, all right. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am, for feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Rudrani.
Good
Uh,
afternoon.
I found you quite confident, as like you were very sure about some of the good points, was very sure why you want to go MNIFT, MFM, and what is your background, how it's going to support there. Some of the answers which I found would have been, because you have used certain strong words for it, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
saying no growth, you need to understand, when you say no growth, that means you're comparing the city to maybe past 2-3 decades. Is that when you compare the city from past 2-3 decades, it is the same way,
No, ma'am.
right? So obviously you can say a slow growth, or in comparison to that, it's fine, but saying no growth is something which is very strong, right?
Okay, ma'am.
When you say coming from a middle class Bengali family, or is what exactly you want to say? Is that the mindset you want to indicate,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
what?
Yes, ma'am. It is usually the mindset which is always brought up in us since childhood, I would say, that we need to have a certain kind of profession and a certain kind of way we need to lead our lives. So I
But
would,
Bengali are being very much promoted to the art, to
yeah, yes, ma'am. But
literature.
usually, I don't think they will support a career in that. First of all, they would try to force us towards the education more, because you have seen that they also say that why are you taking up arts? Why aren't you taking up science or commerce? Because that is more a proper stream where you can probably get a job in a bank or be a doctor or an engineer, and you'll have a, they want that assurity that their kid is going to earn something or the other. They don't think, they feel that if my child goes into arts, maybe my child will not have a secured future, maybe he or she will do freelancing, which nowadays most of the parents don't even know what is freelancing. They think that it is something you don't have a job and you sit at home. So I'm talking
See,
about,
Rudrani, when you say about the all, or when you indicate about the complete, the society, or what, that means you are well known to it, because there are many examples of Bengalis who are opt from very, different careers, right?
yes,
So
ma'am.
when you say all, then it means, okay, most of can work for that, but all, when you say that you're very sure about it, right?
Yes, ma'am,
And when you're
understood.
sure about it, you have a data for that also.
Okay,
then
ma'am.
that is going to be validated, right?
Okay.
So see, the flow and everything is very good, but you need to be careful with your words when you say it. See, when sir has asked about the economy and all, then why to take it in the political way, right?
Okay.
He was very clear about what he is asking, right?
Okay.
So in that things you need to carefully listen the question first, let the panelists complete their question, and take a 1 minute, that's okay, take a maybe 30 second to articulate your ideas in a proper way. I felt somewhere you were in very rush,
Okay, ma'am.
right? Somewhere I felt you were in rush. So that is something. Otherwise, you have a very good background, very clear ideas. I just want you present those ideas in the proper way.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. That's it from my side. Over to you, Krishna sir.
Yeah, so, exactly this, like, Rudrani, very nice. In fact, economy from there, the flow you have started in your introduction. So that was very nice. You did not went too much here and there, and we'll talk more about, like, okay, it's a nuclear family. So boutique, mom ka, matlab from where it's every dot I can see is matching with each other's. Why even your 1 year internship or work or project, these things are there in, like, marketing is there in your subject, and you have there in MFM as well. So you have done really nice. But when we are talking about Kolkata or Bengal, so you got towards more emotional and, like, talking in
Yes, sir.
your age group stuff, like, as a youth, what you can talk. ये हो रहा है,
Yes.
गली में ये हो गया, मोहल्ले में हो गया. Come on, you are economic graduate. You should know the points are. There
Okay.
are very important geographical these days if you want to do any trade, any business, any kind of thing. So these things are really important. मैं कोई ट्रेड करूंगा कोलकाता से बैंगलोर और मेरे लिए महंगा होगा उसकी कॉस्टिंग, इनफैक्ट लाने की शिपिंग चार्ज भी. Why I will do that trading? So
Yes.
talking those terminology, I'm expecting from you if you are economic
Okay, sir.
graduate and they are asking the question, so they are interested to know about the shipping or, like, trading और बिजनेस में क्या ये हुआ, कितने सारी कंपनियां वहां गई और वहां से भागना पड़ा लोगों को बंद करके. नैनो आपके यहाँ शुरू नहीं हो पाया, इवन तो नैनो गुजरात में भी बंद हो गया, राइट? So you should know those case study. You should talk about the real valid region. Till the day it's not open for a business or trade any state, why not even in Bihar, Bengal or Orissa, if you'll see any of this state, industry है ही नहीं वहां पे. Though there are some industry NTPC और ये सब जो काम कर रही है वहां पे, those are government only. Tell me the all including this 3 state, tell me the 5 being industry name किसी भी फील्ड में, एक्सपोर्ट रिटेल किसी में भी है कोई बड़ी कंपनियां? नहीं है. Like suppose Bangalore got developed, you should know. If you are sitting in Kolkata, different. You are from economy, you should know, okay, Bangalore और हैदराबाद यहाँ का एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ जो है वो आईटी फील्ड्स की वजह से हुआ, राइट? आईटी इंडस्ट्री के बूम से हुआ. आज अगर यूएस में कुछ होता है उसका इम्पैक्ट डायरेक्ट बैंगलोर को पड़ता है.
हाँ.
हर एक छोटे बिजनेस को भी होता है. I've noticed it practically. I mean, during my drop down 1 year, I did economics also. सेकेंड ईयर तक हाँ मैंने करा था. देन आई जॉइन द NIFT. तो हर एक चीजें कैसे ट्रिकल करती है, ट्रिकल थ्योरी आपने पढ़ी होगी. पराठे वाले का पराठा बिकना कम हो जाता है अगर 2 दिन के लिए यूएस के आईटी कंपनी में छुट्टी होती है, यहाँ सब बंद होता है, राइट? एंड इंटायर इंडियन इकोनॉमी का 40% पार्ट इज डायरेक्टली इन्फ्लुएंस और इम्पैक्टेड बाय द यूएस ब्रांड और कंपनी, राइट? तो प्लीज ग्लोबली हर एक चीज आज के डेट में बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ रही है. बीट कोरोना वायरस इज द एग्जांपल, राइट? तो इसको थोड़ा इंटेलेक्चुअली पढ़िए. आपके बाकी कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल में बात करने का, व्हाटएवर मैम सेड, ऑल द पॉइंट आई शुड गिव 10 out of 9 or 10 only there. But when it's come to the knowledge of your depth of the subject which you are a master, वहां पे मतलब 10 में 2-3 मतलब आपने बात ही नहीं करा सब्जेक्ट का, तो थोड़ा करेंगे, थोड़ा उसे ब्रश अप कर लेंगे. ये कोचिंग भी नहीं करा सकता. यू नीड टू गो एंड ब्रश अप दो स्टफ. काफी दिनों से पढ़ा नहीं आपने दोबारा बुक को, लगता है. हाँ, थोड़ा देखेंगे, राइट? यू आर नॉट इन टच, करेक्ट?
यस सर.
हाँ, बस डिग्री खत्म, कहानी खत्म. चलो, इसलिए आई स्टार्टेड विद फादर ऑफ इकोनॉमी. ओके, चलो, ऑल द बेस्ट. या रेस्ट ऑल इज वेल. प्लीज रीड मोर अबाउट योर सब्जेक्ट बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली दे विल रिलेट एंड आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good
Thank
luck.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rudrani, for joining us, and all the best for your PI.
Thank you, ma'am.